Well, hey everybody, John Rethlin here, and this is a special video where I'm going to talk about my favorite memories of Owen Hart. Today would have been his 54th birthday. He was tragically taken away from us all too soon. 20 years ago, a few weeks later this month, at the Over the Edge pay-per-view, where a tragic accident led to his death. And yes, taken away from us all too soon. The guy was so full of life. He was great in the ring, incredible on the mic, because when he was given like a reason to just vent out his frustrations and everything, like after the Montreal screw job and after all that stuff happened, he was somebody that they really should have built around. The fact they didn't was pretty ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to go off on a lengthy rant or anything. And one thing I am going to state right here is I do not believe for a second that Vince Russo had anything to do with Owen Hart's death. So to blame him for the death, I want to put that out here right now. I am not part of that camp. That is fucking ridiculous. So, no evidence has come out of that, so let's just say tragic accident. Should it have happened? No. But with Owen Hart, looking at an early age, his time in Stampede Wrestling, he even got to wrestle at WrestleMania 5 as the Blue Blazer. And then he would float around a little bit there. He would work in Japan. I mean, New Japan even shared a match where it was Owen Hart. I don't remember who the fuck he faced, but it was a pretty good match from what I remember. I mean, it was very quick and everything. I think it was only like 10 minutes. But it showed how over Owen could be just about anywhere. And I mean, looking at a guy who could move like that, who was super agile but also super technical, there were people that feel that Owen was better than Bret in the ring. Personally, I think they're equals, but that's not up for the debate here. That's another debate for another show. I think that Owen was absolutely great and didn't even scratch the surface of how fucking good he was. Looking at early on in his career and everything, he was teaming up with Jim Neidhart and the New Foundation, and wearing the goofy like poofy pants and everything. Poofy pants, by the way, is what I'm saying. Him and Jim were actually a pretty good team. He even got to wrestle WrestleMania 8 against Skinner. Owen did, and beat him. So, yeah, Owen got his first win over Skinner at WrestleMania 8. And then from there, he teamed with Koko B. Ware. They were high energy. Owen was kind of puttering around as a tag team wrestler for a while. And, just floating around everything, floating around the undercard, floating around. And then later in 93, you had the whole thing with Bret, Owen, Bruce, and, Keith. And they were, it was the Hart Brothers, and they were going to be in a Survivor Series elimination match. And this was going to finally kick off the whole thing that was, going to happen between Owen and Bret, which was originally supposed to be apparently Bret and Bruce, but Bret felt that Owen would be the better choice. Oh God, was Bret right. You had the thing where it was an elimination match, but the only one of the Harts that got eliminated was Owen, and it was because he accidentally sent Bret into the guardrail, and then got rolled up and everything, 1, 2, 3. But then Owen's like, okay, he comes back out to celebrate with his brothers, but he's upset at Bret. Seems like they reconciled. And still, this is one of my favorite moments of Owen's career. They team up against the Quebecers, and they're gonna face off against them at the Royal Rumble 94. And Bret, after a while, would not tag in Owen, even though his knee was hurt. Bret's knee was hurt. Ref finally calls out the match and everything. Owen gets upset. Why didn't you tag me? Why didn't you tag me? Wait, you're my brother. I need to help you. And then he helps him up, and then he beats him up and everything, and kicks his knee. And I'm going to get to the promo here in just a second. But Owen does that. He should have tagged me or whatever. He's so selfish and all that. And God, I loved heel Owen. Fucking Christ, very few were as good as he was, especially in the 90s. But Owen then cuts the promo backstage. I love Owen. I'm sorry, and I'm not knocking Owen at all, but just one of his funniest promos. Bret, you wouldn't tag me. You're so selfish and everything. That's why I kicked your leg out of your leg. I mean, he was excited. He wanted to do the promo. It's not knocking Owen at all. He was excited. He wanted to do the promo. Just kick. That's why I kicked your leg out of your leg. Just fucking love that. God damn, love that. That was so fucking great. And from there, they built up this whole thing about how Owen wanted to be, wanted to stop being in Bret's shadow. He was tired of being in Bret's shadow. He was going to prove himself at WrestleMania, because they did the double finish with Bret and Luger at, the Royal Rumble, and then it was going to be, both guys were going to get suitable competition. Luger was going to get a title shot against Yoko, and then Bret was going to get a title shot against Yoko. But what happened Luger was going to get a shot first, so Bret had to face Owen. And in the opening match, in the greatest opening match at WrestleMania in history. You can fight me on that if you want. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. But Owen and Bret just having this great classic match. I really wish they could have had an Iron Man match on a Raw. Even if it would have only been like a 30-minute Iron Man match. I would just like to have seen that. Because I think they could have told a great story. Now, they had this match. Great stuff. Owen was showing that he was an equal to Bret. And Bret was, showing that he was the more experienced brother. But in the end, he tried for the victory roll. And then Owen managed to sit down. 1, 2, 3. Owen Hart pins his older brother Bret live at WrestleMania on the biggest stage WWE has. And right there, he was launched. It was great. And Owen's just like, I knew I could do it. I told you I could do it. I knew I was a better brother and all that stuff. And I mean, the promos, it's better for you guys to find the promos. I cannot channel Owen's charisma, nor would I want to try. But he was, just great with how he did this. It built up the whole thing where he wanted to follow in Bret's footsteps and show he could do it better because Bret had won the King of the Ring tournament the year before. Owen won the King of the Ring tournament. And it was the King of Hearts, Owen Hart. And was still involved in the Bret feud and everything because he wanted to face him. He beat him at WrestleMania. He won the King of the Ring. He wanted a shot at Bret's title. Because even though Owen had beaten Bret earlier in the night at WrestleMania 10, Bret stood tall at the end. So continuing to build the story. I love the Bret Owen feud. They built it up to SummerSlam 94. In that incredible cage match where Owen was just so great, a smarmy heel, but just so great with how he was trying to get out of the ring, leaping like literally for the door. But just the drama and the way they did it and the technical wrestling they did. And yes, there were some high impact moves and there were some hits into the cage. Bret said it best because he couldn't really do any interviews with Owen because it was done in 2005, who he had tragically passed away years before. Bret said, most cages are a bloody massacre. We wanted to go out there and wrestle. And Owen, showing his stuff, almost got it, got his foot caught in the cage wall, and then Bret dropped down and managed to beat him. But Owen came that close to beating Bret. And there was still, the feud still continued. Now, that you would have thought would have been the blow-off. The feud was fucking incredible, in my opinion, and never got boring. Bret then faced Bob Backlund. Owen, was there at ringside and had Helen throw in the towel. And it was just great because Owen's just, screaming at her. I mean, it's not, screaming in her face, but, Mom, you gotta help Bret. You gotta help Bret. Look at this. You gotta help Bret. Bret's hurt. Throws in the towel. It's just this thing that just goes on forever. She throws in the towel. So Bret loses the title, and Bret starts going after Owen, and they have a match. I want to say it was on Raw. That was it was a little bit quicker. I think it was sometime in '95. I think it was sometime after the Royal Rumble match, or the match he had for the WWE title. Bret did against Diesel, and him and Owen had a match, and that was pretty much the end of that. And then Owen transitioned back into being a tag team wrestler. And still, the feud was fucking incredible. It lasted for over a year and never got boring. Then he entered into a tag team with Yokozuna. He introduced him as a surprise tag team partner. Some really good stuff there. They beat the Smoking Guns. Owen was a great, great tag partner for Yokozuna. And Yoko was just great to watch when he was motivated. Unfortunately, at this point, he was starting to gain a whole bunch of weight. Owen was put there to really take the bumps. Work hard, cut the promos, that kind of stuff. Even though Jim Cornette was there, hence why I got that shirt up there, because Jim Cornette also really liked Owen. And I mean, a lot of people did, because Owen was just great. But they were tag champions for a while. And then that whole thing happened where Diesel and Shawn beat him. And then they transitioned into having Owen feud with Shawn Michaels. They went with the concussion angle where Shawn got beat up by 30 Marines. It was actually one. There's one, Shawn. I mean, I know that your wonky eye caused you to probably see a whole bunch. I know that didn't happen for years, but still. So they did the thing where Owen was, using a concussion-causing kick, the enziguri to the back of the head. Shawn does the pass out. Owen builds up the whole thing where he took out Shawn Michaels, and he gets taken out in the 96 Rumble. And from there, Owen is still, Owen becomes part of Camp Cornette. He kind of already was. Teams up with Bulldog and Vader at WrestleMania 12 in an opening 6-man tag. And then, still teaming up with Camp Cornette. It's kind of middling around a little bit here and there. Then teams up with British Bulldog. They become tag team champions. They are great tag team champions for a good long while. I know it sounds like I'm running through Owens' career, but I'm trying to hit the highlights here on this because there's some stuff I'm going to miss. But with Owen, him and Bulldog had such incredible chemistry. They had such a great match in Germany for the finals for the European Championship, March 3rd, 1997. One of my favorite Raw matches ever. Bulldog won the championship. And, Owen and him were showing respect, but they were also starting to show that competitive fire. But you could tell that they really worked well together. When Bulldog was motivated, my God, was he great. But soon after that, the Hart Foundation's reformed. Bret manages to get through to Owen. They reformed. Jim Neidhart's there. Bulldog's there. Pillman's there. It's a new Hart Foundation. Owen's part of that Canadian Stampede match. The 10-man tag where the fucking foundation almost cracked and the roof almost caved in from the crowd reaction because my God, was that crowd loud. I'm not knocking. That crowd was incredible. That's one of the biggest pops that I've heard, the loudest crowds I've heard. And that In Your House pay-per-view is pretty goddamn good. In Your House Canadian Stampede, check it out. But then Owen does the thing with Austin over the Intercontinental title. And the famous botch with the tombstone, which is similar to what happened with Austin giving a tombstone like that to Masahiro Chono that caused a neck injury to Chono. That didn't shorten his career, but hurt it. I mean, I don't know how a neck injury couldn't hurt someone's career. But then a number of years later, about 5 years later, that happens where, Austin gets spiked on his neck. I'm not blaming Owen. Accident happened. But then Owen from there is like, he gets rolled up in one of the worst roll-ups of all time because Austin couldn't really feel anything. And then Owen's like, weren't doing the whole thing, the shirt saying I broke Austin's neck and rolling with it and everything. But then after the screw job happens, because other stuff happened after that, but after the screw job happens, Owen gets re-signed to a contract apparently, like a bigger contract, and they're going to make him like the next big hero. Well, that ends up going up in smoke because you can tell Triple H and Shawn causing the whole thing, causing a whole bunch of issues. That's why I take issue with people that say that Shawn was not, a horrible bitch and a backstage politician and everything and stuff like that. Not denying Shawn Michaels wasn't incredible in the ring. But good God, he was a fucking bitch in the 90s. But especially when it came to Owen. And Owen should have been a megastar coming out of that damn thing. If they were going to sign him, he should have been a fucking megastar. And he wasn't. He feuded with Triple H over the European Championship. He did eventually capture the European title. He was part of the Nation of Domination. He was not a Nugget. The Nugget chant means shit. Owen was anything but shit. Shawn's, personality and brain capacity was shit at that point because he pilled himself up, to a spectacular degree. But whatever. Shawn's pill addiction's aside, thankfully he's over that. Owen still was over, but just, people were chanting Nugget and that kind of stuff. He had a feud with Ken Shamrock, actually a pretty good feud there. And as things went on, it seemed like they were going to do more stuff with him. They teamed him with Jeff Jarrett, and apparently they were real life friends, and a whole bunch of stuff led to him being the Blue Blazer, but him also being Owen Hart, not knowing who Owen Hart is when he's the Blue Blazer. And then tragically his passing happened at Over the Edge 99. I don't know what the future would have been for Owen. It would have certainly been interesting. But going back to some other stuff. The Slammy Award. He was a 2-time Slammy Award winner, and he would always carry the trophies with him. But he was so goddamn good that, honestly, he hadn't even come close to scratching the surface. He was incredible. Owen, so full of life, whether he's on promos, in matches. I just named some great matches. There are some other ones I'm sure that I totally fucking forgot about. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, but Owen Hart is somebody sorely missed, and I just really hate the tragic end that he met. It's just really fucking sad, but he left a hell of a legacy. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? 100% he should be. I'm not going to get on a soapbox here and say that kind of stuff. I know there's reasons. I'm not going to go into those reasons, but he should be in the Hall of Fame. Owen Hart is a big reason why I enjoyed wrestling in the 90s. A big, big reason. If I had to come up with favorite wrestlers of the 90s, Owen would be top 10 easily. Owen Hart was full of life, incredible in the ring, and just a joy to watch, and he is sorely missed. So yes, a happy birthday to Owen Hart. I really wish he was here to celebrate it with everybody, and the fans could celebrate with him. I mean, not like in a big party or anything, but that he was still alive, and we could all say, happy birthday, Owen, thank you for all the memories. I mean, but seriously, thank him for all the memories. I mean, thanks to Owen. Not that, this video will reach him, but still, what are your favorite memories of Owen Hart? What do you think the future would have been had he not passed away? I think he could have been WWE champion, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.